Yeah. For what we spent in Ukraine on the Ukraine conflict, everybody could go to medical school for free in the United States for the rest of time. What's his face? Bloomberg donated a bunch of money to Johns Hopkins, and he set it up so that no one has to pay any tuition for going to Johns Hopkins now. We could do the exact same thing for every medical school, just for 1 year of the spending that we have there. War is expensive. And what do we achieve? Thoughts on Brian Johnson? We already talked about that. Could you really live to 130? Yeah. So what we're doing right now with hyperbarics and stem cells, my hope is a 30% reduction in biological aging. So I age 7 years for every decade. So in 3 decades' time, I gain basically another decade, give or take. And then with gene therapies like epigenetic reprogramming, like what Sinclair is working on, that's kind of the next major step. And I think we have enough headroom with improvements of the mesenchymal stem cells just by co-administering them with exosomes and other things. We probably can shave off another 2 or 3 years. So I age 5 years for every decade. So we call that longevity escape velocity, where you get 1 for 1. And I think we can get there. I will be at Dave Asprey's biohacking conference, May 28th to 30th. If anybody's listening from that conference, you want me to speak, I'll speak. And lunch with Dave last time I was there. He's a cool dude. What about Katy Perry? So I can dress up like a police officer. I can put on a soldier's uniform. I can put on a firefighter's uniform. And that doesn't make me a police officer. That doesn't make me a soldier. And that doesn't make me a firefighter. So I can hitch a ride on an autonomous rocket, go 60 miles up and come down after an 11-minute joyride. That doesn't make me an astronaut. Real astronauts, they have to go through 6 months plus of training. They go much higher up, and it's much harder to come down. And they come down with damage to their body from being in microgravity for such a long period of time. It's a very dangerous job. It's a very tough job. Hey, Charles, do you think a medical school is possible in Gillette? If so, possible timeline. I want to do it. I'm going to be in the 2030s. But we are planning it. There's actually some land we're looking at there. And I want to do a very different kind of medical school. I'd like to combine naturopathic, functional, and allopathic medicine all into one program and do a 5-year program instead of a 4-year program. I have a lot of ideas on how to put the pieces together for it. Riding a plane doesn't make you a pilot. That's an even better one. Yeah, okay, I'm going to use that one, Lucas. And watching porn doesn't mean you're having sex. Why longevity? Why not let things take their course naturally? Because there's too much to do. I would love to be able to spend 5 years living with the tribes in the Amazon. I'd love to be able to spend a year or two doing Arctic exploration or go scuba diving and discover underwater cities. I'd love to go and become a doctor and spend time with that. And I'd love to be able to master a martial art to completion, all these types of things. But you don't get to do all that because life is too short. And if you expand it, you get to do all those things. And I'm young. Let's go do it. Any books you'd recommend on mindfulness? Yeah, stuff from John Kabat-Zinn. Highly recommend. Tough question, but don't you think Cardano should limit the treasury usage in relation to the annual revenue so that funding only grows if the chain itself grows? No, because then how do you grow the chain? How do you make a strategic investment? That's like basically saying the following. It's so stupid. You know what you should do? You should spend what you make. Okay, so what if I take out loans to get an education to increase my potential future earnings? What if I take out a loan to get a car so I can get a better job? But you don't make all that money in 1 year, right? So you're going into deficit spending as an investment for the future. So what you're basically saying is we can never make a deficit investment for the good of the chain for the future. And if we're unwilling to invest in our own chain, why would a VC invest in our chain? Why would somebody buy ADA? Why would somebody join the ecosystem when the other chains are investing billions into their ecosystem? Make any sense to you? No, you only do that after you've won and you're sustaining something. I love this falsely extending your life. Oh, okay. So let's say you get cancer. You should just not treat the cancer. Let's say you get heart disease. You should just not treat the heart disease. Let's say that, you get shot. You should just not treat the gun wound because that's your natural life, right? Stuff happens and you can treat it and live longer, or you can not and live shorter. I would rather live longer so I can see more and do more. And that's a false extension and I'm affecting my spirituality. What if with the additional time I get more spiritual and I get a deeper understanding and a richer understanding of spirituality? Hundreds of millions of ADA coming out of the treasury. Now, when you have a stockpile of 1.7 billion ADA, would you like that ADA to be worth $3? Or would you like that ADA to be worth 10 cents? And if you make strategic investments now over 12, 24 months, we catch the bull run, we go back to our all-time high. We miss the bull run, we actually fall, and we're now in the top 50 instead of the top 10. What would you like? It's a symbol, and you have to make strategic investments. You have to bring people in. You have to grow the pie. And if you get it wrong, then you can say, you know what, let's be more conservative in the future. We built a stockpile up. It's not going to be diminished in 1 year. You have to make some decisions about how aggressive you want to be. I'd say now is the time to be aggressive. The D-reps have to decide. Charles, should I study category theory or cryptography? I mean, what are you trying to do? If you're doing functional programming, study category theory. If you're doing cryptography, well, what type of cryptography do you want to study? What do you want to learn about? Hash functions, symmetric crypto, asymmetric crypto, zero-knowledge cryptography? Do you want to learn about erasure codes? Do you want to learn about information theory? I mean, there's like millions and millions of things you can do in crypto. So never study a field. Pick something that you want to accomplish, something you want to build. For example, I want to build a secure messaging app. Okay, well, then there's cryptography that's involved in there, right? There's a whole information security perimeter you got to think about. Got to think about side channel attacks, software supply chain issues. You got to think about distribution, operating environments, all these types of things. And yeah, then you have to think, okay, how do I encrypt the messages? Well, I need to learn how the encryption protocols work. How do I do key exchange? What type of cipher am I using? If it's a stream cipher for video, is it Salsa 20 or is it AES in stream mode? What is it? Okay, and then you're learning applied cryptography for this. Now, if you want to learn the theory of cryptography, there's a problem you want to solve. I am interested in homomorphic encryption. because I think being able to operate on encrypted data makes sense. Okay, now you're learning both category theory and cryptography, because there's a ton of algebra that's in homomorphic encryption. You're learning about lattices, you're learning about all these things. But you have a goal and you're building towards that. So every time you learn something, you'll have a practical application to connect that to, and then you work your way through the theory. It's just like Fourier analysis. Why learn it? Well, I want to learn about information theory and think about signals, and I'm really interested in removing noise in a communication channel. Okay, there you go. Fast Fourier transforms, and you understand that part of it. But that's how you learn. You have to learn by doing. That's why college degrees now are just so fucking worthless. They're absolutely useless. They're so useless because they have no connection to anything in reality. It's just like a smorgasbord of different courses. And then there's like one or two applied things, and you write this useless thesis, and you have no job skills, and you throw the person in, you say, go solve this problem. I don't know how to do that. It's like, well, figure it out. Oh, Lord. So what would you invest in besides IOG projects? Plenty of great things in the crypto ecosystem. I think EndMaker, Patrick, what you're building is great because you know how to sell. You know how to do commercial partnerships. You know how to work with the technology. You know how to go cross-chain. You understand crypto ecosystems. I love Sunday. I love Pi Lingingham. He's just a great guy to work with. And he's got the right mentality, scrappy guy. Midgard is a great investment as well. They're going to go to a lot of places. The SNEC community is a great investment. They're going to go a lot of places. Book is a phenomenal ecosystem as well. So there's a ton of people that are in Cardano that are doing interesting things. But outside of Web3, I highly recommend anti-aging and regenerative medicine. It's going through a huge flux. If I could do it all over again, I'd be probably really interested in the quantum stuff. I love the metaphysics of it. I love the spirituality of it, but I just love the engineering. Go get a PhD in like quantum engineering and the hybrid where you learn electrical engineering, material science, and physics, and you learn all the computer science and these types of things, and go build a quantum computer. They're coming in 10 to 25 years, and it's going to change everything. It's so cool. Cognitive neuroscience is also a super cool field, as is complex adaptive systems. That's my problem, is I like too many things, and it's hard to, only get into one thing. With the treasury, the treasury, you have core, and really core has to be about strengthening institutions, no diversification, completing the roadmap that we have, commercial stuff like Bitcoin, DeFi, and making Cardano a solid AVS system, because then we have areas of growth and liquidity. The next layer up is about marketing, brand, and growth. And so let's correct the information deficit. It's a bad deal when VCs won't invest in us. Let's create some proper growth hack funds. Let's get an incubation acceleration function. Even if it's 10 to 25 million, let's get it in. And then let's fix all the broken windows. Get all the custodians to love us, get our stablecoin market where it needs to be, get the oracles where we need to be. Let's help get liquidity for the top 10, top 25 CNAs, whether it be indexes or getting them listed, these types of things. And that's how you walk the book up. And just make sure we're in the conversation and people understand the product marketing of Cardano. They know the telescoping protocol we came up with consensus, how Laos collapses back to Prouse in the event that it fails, but it's super scalable otherwise. That's the way to do things. The merits of extended UTXO, build up Aiken, build up those capabilities. You got to think in terms of those layers and get the right institutions involved. Incubation acceleration, cut a deal with either Techstars or Outlier or 500 startups. Start small, 10, 25 million. Security tokens, actually put the equity in the treasury. How about that? Stable coins. Let's mint half the supply that we push through the treasury into stable coins. That means every time we do a treasury round, 75 million or more is going into stable coins at Cardano. 5-10 years, you have hundreds of millions of dollars in stable coins at Cardano. We've insulated the base. Let's try to get a partner chain launched every year, a good one, a tier 1 partner chain. Let's get World Mobile where they need to be. Let's get Singularity Net where they need to be. I know you're working on AI agents. If you can do a better job than Ben, let's get you as a partner chain. Do an AI play, do an airdrop, just like Midnight's doing. Drop to 10, 20 chains. Commercial, market development. Get Vietnam, Nigeria, Argentina. The 3 fastest growing by percentage in population crypto markets. Let's have dedicated evangelism in each of those markets. Right now in Argentina, 1 out of every $7 is in crypto. Nigeria, 1 out of every $4 is in crypto in some way. In Vietnam, 32% of the population holds crypto. Think about it. These are huge fucking numbers. We should have dedicated sales teams there, take the top 5 largest companies in each of those jurisdictions, get them into Cardano. Let's go do it. And pay a performance fee for this type of stuff. Let's talk around it. That's the shit we should be talking about. We're going to sort out the multi-client diversity. We had the node workshop. We brought the people together. We got Project Blueprint. They've told the ecosystem what they need. Fully fund them. All right, you need 2 million. There you go. Done. Here you go. TX Pipe. Take it. Blink Labs. Here, take it. Stop having part-time people. Work full-time on this shit. Get that done. And let us finish the roadmap. Let's get this thing through. Layout's going to be hard, and there's going to be a lot of work to do, and it's going to just be complicated. And there's a lot of good engineers. Let's just go get that done. Get it through. That's the kind of stuff off the top of my head. If I was in charge, I would do. But we don't have an executive function in Cardano. And that was done by design to force decentralization. But it is frustrating because it would be pretty easy for me to just put a plan on the table and say, this is what we're going to do, guys. I am y'all president, John Henry Eden, straight to y'all heart. But I wish I could do that. But I can't. The Vietnam also has the entire anime group. Just saying, it's where all the Japanese anime is now made. Straight to your heart. Got another one to ban and delete, and he's gone. Do. Got to bring people together too. That's why the workshops are so important, because you bring people together, start talking about the commercialization of the platform, and then you come up with a lot of great business ideas, get things done. And the world's a big place. You just pick stuff. Just go get it done. I'm building a digital voting system next. Paper ballots is so archaic. I'd highly recommend a hybrid system. You have a paper system and a digital system, blockchain and paper together. That's peanut butter and jelly right there. Put those two things together. See what we're doing? We're putting them together. They're getting put together. Oh, look at them. They're all put together. It's nice. Why? Because when you have both these modalities together and they audit each other, it's unhackable if you do it in the right configuration. You vote with a blockchain, creates a paper receipt. You vote with paper, creates a blockchain record. They're always together. And one side audits the other side. And what's nice is it crosses all socioeconomic classes, and you can vote with your phone. You deploy all the software and trusted hardware enclaves. And what's nice about it is if you have the right identity system, you have a perfect voting system. So I always tell people, because I've had people come to me from various states and they say, you should bid on this RFP for blockchain-based voting. I say, oh, that's great. What are you guys doing for your identity management system? And they say, well, that's not on the table. We're just going to keep our old identity management system. I say, I'm not interested at all. Because I don't want to build a really secure voting system if you have fake people that don't exist, or fake IDs or fake identities inside your system. I'm just building a really secure way of counting a person who doesn't exist or who is ineligible to vote. You have to do both. So you need self-sovereign identity. You need an on-creds. And you put that system in as your foundation. Then you give people the right to either vote on their phones through trusted hardware enclaves on a blockchain, or vote with paper, either or, and you have both systems there, and the systems have to reconcile. You have to have a one-to-one correspondence with both sides. And then you can check at any time your vote was counted correctly, and that the election system has integrity. And you have integrity criteria as an invariant inside the system. And there you go. You get it done. And we could design this system in 6 months to a year, best in class. And also, you can then have any ballot architecture you want. You can have quadratic voting. You can have linear preference ordering for your voting, like Condorcet or Borda. You can approval voting anytime you want. We could do that, but they have no intention of fixing the problem because they don't want to. Thought you were away doing something dangerous, Charlie boy. Did you miss the bullet ants? Like, that's a thing. We've been doing the bullet ants. We were talking about the bullet ants in the Amazon, canoeing with caiman and anaconda and spiders and all kinds of things, and the parasites and all that stuff. You missed all of it, Mark. Come on, Mark. You missed it. It's there. There's even a video, a professionally shot video. People body shamed me in it. You got to catch up, man. You got to keep up with the times. Ay, 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 ay. This guy. Seems homomorphic encryption would be required to prevent vote intimidation. No. You just need the ability to validate. That's a zero knowledge proof that it was recorded the way you thought, but only convinces you. Don't need homomorphic encryption. Can't you just have phone farms? No, because you have a unique registration. That's why you have to have the identity system, right? See how it comes together? Information security. Charles, what's your take on beard glitter? I mean, I'm the guy who was giving Smurfs a hand job, so what do you do? Charles, are partnerships of Ripple and Chainlink still being discussed? Ripple, yes. Chainlink, we're working hard on that. I have Nasrat's private number. We talked in DC every time we meet. We're like, yeah, we need to work together. And we start talking and everything. So Chainlink has us on the list for integration. They have some new framework that's kind of like Rosetta with Coinbase to do these integrations. And for some reason, it's just always like 3 to 6 months off. Ripple, on the other hand, things are going really well. We're going to add Ripple support to XRP support for Lace. So if you're an XRP user, you can hold your XRP in the Lace wallet. XRP is going to be part of the Midnight airdrop, and we're in talks with Real USD. So, I mean, that's as good as it gets, right? And the Flare people want to come to Cardano and do oracles with us. So that's a very strong relationship. And Dave Schwartz just invited me to speak at one of their conferences, and we're on very good terms. Just Chainlink has been difficult because there's no component of it where there's an interpersonal issue. There's no component where there's an economic issue. It's just always hard to predict, basically what the integration is going to take, because they have like a legacy way of doing it. They're moving towards a new way of doing it, but we're not really sure when and how that's going to happen. So we're kind of in this no man's land. No matter how many people I throw at it, and even when I talk to Sergey, he's like, we both agree we should do it. There's no problem. There's no bad blood. It just, for some reason, doesn't get over the line. And I'm not sure why. So I'll keep looking into it. I'll yell at JJ again, say, hey, what's the latest and greatest on this? It is something I would like to see. We need a tier 1 Oracle, but there's also Pith, and then there's also Flare and others. And, you just keep adding, and you keep pushing it through. And I like the Chainlink community. I think Link Marines are good people. And again, it's like Sergey and I, we're the exact same person. We have the same fashion style. We have the same beard. We're the same body mass. There's no bad blood there. You used to talk a lot about Jed. What do you think of its performance now? Oh, it's doing fine. Let's take a look at Jed right now in Tap Tools. I think it's holding the peg. I had to peg there for a little bit and then went back. Where's my Tap Tools? Tap-a-de-toolie. Tap Tools. Tap Tools. There we go. Yeah, it's sitting at $1. Let's see here. Liquidity about $1 million. 3.2 million market cap. Yeah. Let's see here. 73 makers. Volume of 393,000. 436 transactions. They're still building up to Jed 1.7, but it needs a rebuild after 1.7. And it'd be nice to launch it as a partner chain. Did you drive the road to Han? Well, I never personally drove it when I was growing up there because I left when I was 8. But I've been on it many, many, many times. How bad did the ant venom hurt? It hurt. It hurt so bad. That's okay. Did you ever finish reading The River of Doubt? Not only did I finish reading The River of Doubt, but I also went to the River of Doubt. All right, I'm going to take one more question. Endurance test MA this was. Cardano has stable coins. We have USDM, USDA. Are they a joke to you? They're great. They're awesome. I highly recommend you you work on them. Use them. They're just fine. Were you sure you was there? No, I wasn't on the Rio Roosevelt. I was in the Rio Negro. Different place. Sounds like a racist river. Racist Caymans. That's a good way to end it. Will you be back in Toronto? When will you be back in Toronto? I will be there for Consensus. I will be speaking at Consensus in Toronto. I'll also be at Tracy's event, Untraceable. And I love Toronto. It's a wonderful place. I always eat at Jacobs & Co. It's a great restaurant there. And some of the best cryptocurrency entrepreneurs in Canada. And overall, Canada has been very friendly for the crypto industry. It's where Ethereum was founded. And there's a great culture there for entrepreneurship and innovation. So highly recommend it. And I'll see everybody there. It'll be nice to see all of our Canadian fans. Tam is coming and other people are coming because she's from London, Ontario, and it's easy for her to go out to Toronto. I think she went to University of Toronto as well. But all things considered, Toronto is where it's at. So until next time, everyone, this has been a very fun AMA. It's good to be back, good to be alive. Glad to have 20,000 of you listening. And I'll see you soon over the internets.